Before Malaysia had a name, it had something far, far stronger. La ilaha illallah. We often think of nations being formed through wars or politics, but in the Malay world, something connected the people before any borders ever did.
And when I learned about the true Islam, which was here in Malaysia, we find us on friends, reading the Quran, reading the Hadith, going to mosque. That's not what I was exposed to for 19 years of my life prior to learning about the true Islam.
I'm in Malaysia and I want to share something with you. This is an artifact that they use the Malaysian people before the Adhan to let people know that the time for prayer has started. So a very interesting thing about the Malay culture, mashallah.
One of the best places you can practice Islam. Malaysia is a very welcoming country.
So I converted in Malaysia.
Banyak orang di Eropa tumbuh dengan persepsi yang salah tentang Islam. Mereka pikir Islam itu keras, ekstrem, bahkan menakutkan. Tapi semua berubah begitu mereka datang langsung ke Malaysia. Di sini, mereka melihat Islam bukan lewat berita atau propaganda, tapi lewat kehidupan nyata masyarakatnya. Mereka menyaksikan bagaimana orang Malaysia berinteraksi dengan lembut, penuh senyum, penuh hormat. Masjid-masjid terbuka, suasana damai, dan nilai-nilai kasih sayang terasa nyata di setiap sudut kota. Dari situ mereka mulai sadar, ternyata Islam tidak seperti yang selama ini mereka bayangkan. Bahkan, banyak dari mereka yang akhirnya jatuh cinta pada kedamaian itu. Sebagian mulai belajar tentang Islam, dan tak sedikit yang akhirnya memutuskan untuk memeluk agama ini setelah merasakan sendiri ketenangan yang datang dari hati.
Before Malaysia had a name, it had something far, far stronger. La ilaha illallah. We often think of nations being formed through wars or politics, but in the Malay world, something connected the people before any borders ever did. Sultanates like Kedah, Johor, Perak were all separate. They had different leaders, different flags. And then Islam came through merchants, traders, scholars, and marriages, and it spread peacefully, beautifully, and powerfully. One ruler would accept Islam, then another, and then their courts, and then the people, and suddenly the Malay archipelago had a shared foundation, a shared belief, a shared qibla. Arabic terms entered the language, and the Friday khutbah united hearts across the islands. And so before Malaysia was ever a country, the Ummah was already formed.
Suddenly so bad for my husband who's sitting here in Malaysia, who is only visiting Scotland twice, and he may well get hate. He may well get that back in Scotland. And why? He never did anything wrong. I'm assuming it's very difficult for a Muslim here sitting in Malaysia to understand, what did I do so wrong that people in the West assume the worst of me?
Yeah.
And it just occurred to me the other day that as a revert coming from Scotland, okay, I've been exposed to this negative publicity my whole life about Muslims. Muslims are this, Muslims are this. And when I learned about the true Islam, which was here in Malaysia, we find us on friends, reading the Quran, reading the Hadith, going to mosque. That's not what I was exposed to for 19 years of my life prior to learning about the true Islam. So I feel a huge responsibility, and I'm willing to take on the challenge of trying to bridge that gap, because a revert like myself, I have seen both sides. Not only have I seen it, I've lived both sides. I've lived a different lifestyle in the past, and I have empathy for both sides, because in the West, they're getting taught somewhat that this is true about Muslims, and it's not. And there needs to be someone to try and bridge that gap that can almost empathize with these people who are misguided, who don't fully understand. So PX Revert's been trying to bridge that gap. But going back to my first point, it just occurred to me recently, like, I just felt suddenly so bad for my husband who's sitting here in Malaysia, who is only visiting Scotland twice, and he may well get hate. He may well get that back in Scotland. And why? He never did anything wrong. So actually recently I asked my husband to watch this documentary called The London Bombings on Netflix to actually try and understand, hey, why would I ever get hate as a Muslim in the UK? And I only wanted him to watch that to understand how we can both bridge a gap. We can't just fight hate with more hate. That's never gonna work. So the only way that we can fight and try to bridge that gap between this misunderstanding and misjudgment is only by compassion and empathy. So I hope that he watched that and understood the huge role that he has to play also, which he never asked for. He's just a born Muslim, minded his business, you know, a great lifestyle, alhamdulillah. So yeah, I would urge you all, this is a chilling documentary, London Bombings on Netflix, but just to try and understand why would people in the West and in the UK specifically for this, why would they think that way about us Muslims? We're just trying to have this beautiful lifestyle that the Quran teaches us to be. And yeah, maybe then we can start with the empathy and compassion and understanding the mindset of others, and then inshallah we can bridge that gap together. Ameen.
I'm in Malaysia and I want to share something with you. This is an artifact that they use the Malaysian people before the Adhan to let people know that the time for prayer has started. And actually it is a way of how to call to the prayer, because it's also used in times of emergency. So depends how the sound is made, they will know if it's for the prayer or if it's for something else. And look at this beautiful calligraphy that lets you know that this is used for salah, hayya ala salah, come to the prayer. So there are two types. There is this one and there is one of wood that is also, when you touch it with another one, makes a very loud noise. Nowadays, because they have loudspeakers, do not use it anymore. You can make it in some remote areas. So a very interesting thing about the Malay culture, mashallah.
So my name is Haroon and this is my conversion story. So I met my now wife in 2016, and at the time we were just friends, but I wanted to know more about her culture. I went to Malaysia and met her family and spent quite a lot of time with their family over the years. They were Muslim, of course, and they introduced me to their way of life. And it just felt natural to me. It felt right. It felt like what I've always wanted in my own life. So I converted in Malaysia.
I know that you are Spanish and you are Muslim. What are the three main things the whole world should know about Malaysia? One of the best places you can practice Islam. Malaysia is a very welcoming country. I used to complain a lot in the beginning because it's hot, panas, but it's so green. This is the thing, you live in nature and you can see Allah everywhere you look at it. So it's beautiful, I like that. What's the difference between being Muslim in Spain and Muslim in Malaysia? In Spain, you always have to be fighting against the culture and the people because they don't understand what Islam is. In here, it's much easier because you just flow with the Muslims. So there is a lovely cafe where we gather and we have meetings and talks for women. Can you reveal the name of the place? Yeah, Muka is the place. I'm always there. We're coming. Inshallah, welcome.
Kalau dulu di Eropa, Islam sering disalahpahami. Mereka pikir Islam itu agama yang kasar, kaku, dan penuh larangan. Tapi begitu sampai ke Malaysia, semua anggapan itu langsung terbantah. Mereka lihat sendiri bahwa Islam di sini bukan tentang kekerasan, tapi tentang kedamaian dan kasih sayang.
Incidents, but I came to Malaysia and then I met a very nice people here. The first time I came here 6 months ago, and then I wear hijab for the first time in Malaysia, and then right after this it's called Allah gave me a chance to meet and get to know Muslim person in Malaysia and south of Thailand, and that shada
an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasul Allah. Alhamdulillah.
So a lot of my friends and people that I know ask me, oh brother, why did you choose to live in Malaysia? Why did you leave Australia and live in Malaysia? And quite simply, Countries like Australia, the UK, America, all of these kind of countries that think they're top-notch and ahead of other people in the world can learn a lot from countries like Malaysia, and I'll tell you why. I was just out for dinner at this hotel here, and we asked if there was somewhere that we can go pray, and look what they showed me. Prayer room and ablution area. You walk in here, guys, and check this out. Tell me you'll find anywhere like this in Australia. Right? Male surau. Female surau. Male ablution room for you to do your wudu. And check it out, guys. Beautifully clean, nicely presented, soap on the wall, tissue to use, right? When you've done your wudu, you walk out the corridor and you come to the male surau. Now check this out, guys. How awesome is this? Look. Supply you with sajada. If you want to do some reading, there's a Quran. Right? Subhanallah. So when my friends and family ask me why did I choose a country like Malaysia to live in, as a Muslim, what other place can you ask for, really? These kind of things you would never find in Australia. And the reality is that Australia and the UK and many other places, they can learn a lot of countries like this who truly understand what it's like to embrace multiculturalism. Yeah? Well done, Malaysia. Thumbs up from me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah, Malaysia is the best place for foreigners to learn about Islam. Recently, I attended Omar Sulaiman's lecture in Shah Alam.
So many brothers and sisters here, alhamdulillah.
One of the CNN's top 25 Muslim American change makers, Sulaiman was born in New Orleans and completed his PhD at the International Islamic University, Malaysia. He loves coming to Malaysia, but he's not the only one. Recently, Malaysia has also hosted Dr. Haifa Yunis, and Yasmin Mogahed is about to arrive next month.
Malaysia is an open site, alhamdulillah, it is quite democratic.
Which makes Malaysia a perfect place for the world to learn more about Islam.
He converted to Islam.
You are a Muslim?
Yeah, Muslim, and he converted to Islam. Good. Then we got married after that.
Islam is a good way of life. Okay? Yes. Everybody should.
My grandma can't speak English at all. You were in an English school. Wow, yeah. That's good. When you were a teacher, what subject did you teach?
All subjects.
Oh, you were like a homeroom teacher.
Yes.
Do you still teach or not anymore?
I'm 81 years old and a pensioner.
Wow.
Malaysia memperlihatkan bagaimana ajaran Islam bisa dijalani dengan penuh toleransi. Suasana di masjid tenang, masyarakatnya ramah, dan nilai-nilai Islam terasa di kehidupan sehari-hari tanpa paksaan. Justru itulah yang membuat hati banyak orang asing tersentuh. Mereka mulai sadar, Islam bukan agama yang menekan, tapi membimbing. Bukan memaksa, tapi mengajarkan cinta dan kepedulian. Banyak dari mereka yang pulang dengan pandangan baru. Bahkan, ada yang tak pulang lagi, karena telah menemukan rumah sejati dalam Islam di bumi Malaysia.